I did one of these with these sound guys, and he had this light behind him. And it was like like an interrogation.
Signs your papers.
Hi, I'm your host, Joel Miller, and we are watching and or listening to my podcast, Party Like a Rockstar. Today, we are sponsored by Misha's Kind Foods. They're an LA-based small business making the world's finest non-dairy cheese spreads on the market today. They're delicious and healthy, made from a cashew and almond milk, and blended with various locally sourced fresh herbs, vegetables, and spices. There's no vegetables, oils, soy, fillers, starches, or nutritional yeast. It's lactose-free, paleo, keto, kosher Parev, and 100% vegan. There you go.
Sounds yummy.
You not get any more trending than that.
Right? It's good. It really is actually really good. I like it. They've been giving me cheese, and I've been eating like so much cheese. But they have this one. It's lox. I'm like, oh, I'm a Jew. I'll take that. I'll like it for sure. And it's carrots. It's not really lox, and it's awesome. Yeah, I like it. Anyway, there's my sales pitch. Okay, ladies, let's get into it. From my chats before recording.
Hello.
What's that?
I just said hello.
Oh, okay. We say hello. Sorry. From my chats before recording, I think today's episode is going to feature more wine drinking than beer drinking, Lisa. My first guest is Kim Williams. She works in artist transpo, or transportation. She answered an ad titled, "Do you like the opposite sex? Do you like rock and roll? We've got the job for you." After that didn't work out, she went to work at a bar called The Beer Mug. The mugs weren't just filled with beer, though. They were filled with tears of complaining musicians, as the bar was down the street from the famous Center Stage Theater in Atlanta. Loving to listen to the music industry's plethora of whiny drunks, she knew how she wanted to spend her time. Soon after working at the bar, she was driving around people from the 1996 Olympic Games to, you guessed it, music folk. If a band plays in Atlanta, driving with Kim may just be the best part of the gig. She'll make a left on Peach Street, then make a right on Peach Avenue, then make a U-turn on Peach Place. Kim has shit handled. While driving your happy ass around, if she thinks your music doesn't suck, she may just ask you to sign her van. That's right. The entire side of her 15-passenger van is signed by the world's greatest rock and roll stars, and maybe a few hangers-on that got left under the bunch seats. Messed that up. And maybe a few hangers-on that got left under the bench seats. Kim's Rock Ride, the name she lovingly gives her van, is now in storage, but is driven around the best the music industry has to offer, which may be why it isn't driving anymore. I can't picture Elton John changing a tire. My second guess is Lisa Reed. I ate my first tater tots in her kitchen. That makes us buds.
You did?
Get it, Lisa? Buds. Potato.
Buds.
Tater tots.
Dad joke.
That was a good one.
Dad joke.
Lisa is a former special education teacher. She's written multiple books, and I personally know her because she was married to my friend Dizzy Reed for over 20 years. So to begin, the first question is, Kim, why would you respond to an ad titled, "Do you like the opposite sex? Do you like rock and roll? We've got the job for you"? It's not just Rob Halford who would have been confused. What does this mean?
Well, I like the opposite sex. I like rock and roll. They were going to pay me for liking those things. It seemed like a no-brainer.
So, okay, fair enough.
What exactly did you do?
I sold pots and pans out of the back of my car. But this was before cell phones and Facebook and Twitter. It was just like you'd get a parking lot and you'd say, "Hey, I got a deal for you." And you'd have pots and pans and backgammon boards and just all kinds of crazy stuff. I lasted 2 weeks. I was just like, I will never make it at this.
Was it new? Was it new stuff or was it used stuff?
Oh no, it was all new. And they had this amazing brainwashing program where you go in every morning, you have this meeting and you're all psyched, hit the streets. But by the time you get you're like, oh man, I'm really feeling not so cool about this. And People did it. They made a living out of it, but I wasn't one.
So, I mean, how many backgammon boards did you sell?
I sold one to my mom. I bought one. I think my sister bought one. So I'm going to say 3.
It's pretty good. Most people have a backgammon board already. Lisa, do you have backgammon already?
No, I should get some though.
Client. So did you have stereos?
Back of the truck.
Back of the truck. Remember In Living Color? Do you guys remember that where they'd sell the stuff out of the back of the truck and that one? That was my favorite skit they did. I loved that show. It was so good.
So great.
They're doing a reunion, I saw.
What?
Yeah, they're doing a reunion.
That's okay.
Wow.
I saw it on one of those quick flash in the pan Entertainment Tonight segments.
I'd watch it for sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be super neat. So what was the music industry have to do with pots and pans? Were you kind of like, what the hell happened here?
Like I said, it lasted about 2 weeks, and then I just kind of started looking for another job. And I'm a total believer in how amazing God is and the angels, and they just kind of led me on and
led you to the beer.
Led me to the beer truck. I got some strong angels.
So your parents owned a
bar too.
They did as well up in Dayton, Ohio.
In Dayton, Ohio. All right. Lisa, ever been to Dayton, Ohio?
No, I have not.
2 for 2 there.
No.
Okay. So what was the name of your parents' bar?
Mona's Corner.
Hold on. What'd you say, Lisa?
I was saying I was supposed to go to Dayton, but I ended up not.
It's actually funny because you know John Mayen too, I think, right, Kim?
I do, and I watched a little bit of your interview, the first podcast, and I didn't realize he was from Canton.
I was just going to say, yeah, so that's cool. You guys now you got stuff to talk to next time you're driving around. Or what do they call him? Some happy ass drunken musician. By the way, I lovingly refer to my friends.
I was driving them. We did rehearsals for The Captain and the Kid at Center Stage, and one day I had Clyde Frank. I had a bunch of the guys in the car, and they were like, "Remember when we used to send the runner out for cocaine, and now we send her out for cappuccino?"
I do like cappuccino.
It's now trending as well.
Yeah. So were you the same runner getting the coke? It has changed a lot. Yeah,
It has just changed. We'll go with that. I will say they felt comfortable enough to say it.
It's funny. But do you remember, or Lisa, I know, but have you ever been to the Sunset Strip, Kim?
I have never. No.
So I went out the other night with my buddy and we went to go grab some drinks. Have you been on the Sunset Strip in the last 20 years, Lisa?
Yeah.
I was ridiculous. And they were laughing at me. They're like, well, what do you think happens in 20 years? I couldn't tell you where the Cat Club used to be. We drove by and I'm like, I don't even know what building it is. It's cold.
It was right next to the whiskey.
Yeah. So we drove by again and I'm like, no, it used to be right there. Cause I think shit, and you start second guessing yourself, but the entire facade of the building's different. And then Miyagi's is called the Pink Taco and it looks like crap. And then Brennan's is like
the one in Vegas?
I haven't been to Vegas in a long time either.
They have the Pink Taco in Vegas.
Well, this one they need to work on their taco. It's a pretty ugly looking taco stand. It looked like crap. I didn't know. I was kind of
Hollywood taco, Joel. It's a Hollywood taco.
Yeah, I need no Pink Taco in that establishment. Anyway, on more profound things. So let's see what we got here for you. Okay, so this is important. Lisa, are you a Denver Broncos fan?
Sort of, yes. They're my second team. They're my second team. I'm a Rams fan from birth. Born and raised Rams fan.
So Dizzy,
I became a Broncos fan because Dizzy was a Broncos fan, and now my girls, our daughters are diehard Bronco fans. But me, I'm a Rams girl, 100%. So
I knew
support the Broncos.
I knew there was hope for your family.
I have a Bronco blanket over there my cat's sleeping on. So
Actually, I don't know. If I talk too much shit, he'll never talk to me again. Like, how could you spend the podcast talking about the Broncos? So
the first year that they won the Super Bowl with John Elway, that first year, we had a Super Bowl party at our house in Thousand Oaks. And that fool was dressed head to toe like Broncos gear, but he had whoever they were playing. I don't even remember who they were playing, but he had that jersey on over all his Bronco shit. And the minute the Broncos won, he ripped that jersey off, set it on fire, and then passed out on the couch, just head to toe, Bronco blanket, hat, shirt, socks, pants. I think his underwear were even Broncos underwear.
I hope he was wearing underwear. That was actually one of my friends. She did wardrobe for Prince, and I asked her if Prince wore purple underwear. Like, I can't divulge such things.
Oh,
The answer's got to be
need to know.
It's got to be yes. Come on. Yeah, Prince was top to bottom neat. Okay,
so I was Prince's last runner. He did his last show at the Fox Theater.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I spent a whole day looking for purple pillows that were never quite purple enough.
It's true. You need a Deep Purple. It's a good band name too, by the way. Just saying, it might be a good idea.
Deep Purple.
But yeah, he did the Prince and the Piano tour, and the Fox was his last show.
Aww.
And you drove him around?
Poor little Prince.
I would be able to drive the pillows around.
Should I joke saying, was he able to climb into the van?
Yeah. Get in, Prince. It's good enough for Christmas.
That's really petty. That was super petty. That was really bad. That was stupid.
Bad.
All right. So we'll get into the signature thing because I think it's very entertaining, and I'm sure Lisa does too. So how did the whole signature thing start?
Well, I had a little Nissan, and I had taken Vanilla Ice to the airport.
Everybody needs his autograph. I got a good Vanilla Ice story for you, Lisa. This is with Dizzy. This is good. So Kim finished up with, sorry, not to rush.
Like, well, don't you want me to sign something? And I was like, well, sure, sign the visor. And he signed the visor. And then somehow along the way, it just moved from the Nissan to a van. I do have another visor with Johnny Winter's signature on it, which is very dear. Yeah,
that's fun. Johnny Winter was cool. Amazing. So I was in
another van. So it eventually just has morphed into a couple vans.
Oh, you have more than one.
I had one, but it got totaled. And in that one, I had Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker totaled the fucking van?
No.
Was that on the cocaine run? I was on the cocaine run and Joe Cocker crashed it. Now we get espresso.
Joe Cocker was with me when I ran over a parking cone at the Fox and had to park him in it and pull it out from under the van.
Yeah, whoa, he did what?
We were pulling out. I didn't see the parking cone in front of me.
Yeah.
And so it got stuck under the van, and we hear this dragging. And I have to look at Joe and like, sorry, Joe, got to do this. Go it and park, pull the cone out. And we carried on.
Like a trooper. See, that's how
he was a good one.
Is it? See, Joe Cocker, I wouldn't think he'd care. Be like, just get that. I can't do an English accent. Get that. I don't know.
You know, for his after show food, he had Subway.
I know. I can't do it. Yeah, I narrated my book, and there's a bunch of English guys in there, and I tried it for a second, and I had friends who are actors kind of like, oof. I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to work out. Yeah, I can't do it. Can't do it.
Shame.
So I was with Dizzy in Erie, Pennsylvania, and Vanilla Ice was performing in this bar, and it was $2 to get in. I'm like, we have to go. And he's like, no, dude, I'm not. No. I'm like, oh, come on. It's $2 to see Vanilla Ice. The story's perfect as it is. And he's like, no, we're definitely not going. So we didn't go. We went to the HA clubhouse, and we walk into the place, and the guy was like, I used to work for Guns N' Roses. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm looking at Dizzy, and Dizzy's like,
Of course.
oh, I have no idea who this guy is. So the next thing you know, the beers are coming out. We're hanging out all night or whatever. And then there was this girl. She was some guy's wife, and she was a stripper. And she's like, you get your ass up there for Dizzy from Guns N' Roses. And Dizzy's like, no. It's okay. It's okay. We're just here to hang out. So she gets up there, but she's so drugged out. She's just kind of like this, kind of like wandering around.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, don't tell her to get down because they might kill us, dude. We're at an HA clubhouse. And he's like, well, I don't know what the hell to do. So she kind of danced around. We were looking like she's going to fall off the pool table for sure. It was the best Erie, Pennsylvania had to offer, let me tell you. But
I can imagine.
it was a funny night.
I used to take him. We used to go to strip clubs when we were on tour, and I would buy him table dances and lap dances just because it was so funny to watch his face.
Yeah.
Because these girls were not, in like Moline, Illinois, they're not the, top seed of strippers. So it was always really fun to buy him a lap dance.
I don't know. We
That
had a
was our
lot of.
marriage.
And what?
You guys heard of the Clermont Lounge?
No, is that a good one?
No.
Well, that's it's an Atlanta staple. It's basically where strippers go to do their last strip.
Oh,
Yeah. And there is a stripper who's been there. She's like famous. Her name is Blondie. If you get a chance, Google her.
Oh no.
Crushes beer cans with her boobs.
Oh, geez.
Crushes them. Kills them, I say.
that's tough.
Yeah. It's quite the unique, and it's a staple in Atlanta. I think Jon Stewart gave one of the best reviews of it. He was just talked about, I never thought I'd be there, but there I was.
In the great words of Jon Stewart.
There I was.
And now for the news. I was at Clermont Lounge. I never really liked
I feel
strippers.
like I need to
but
go.
I was the one who holds the money. Strippers are awesome pickpockets. So the thing is, if you're in a group, one guy holds the money, and I don't really like all these people touching me. So I was the guy who would hold the money, and then you go do your thing, they dance around or whatever, and then I'll give you your money back when we leave. It kind of worked out okay.
Smart.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did
To
you
each
ever
their
go to
own.
the one in Amsterdam with the girl? Did you ever go to the one in Amsterdam with the girl who signed postcards with her private areas?
I have all of them.
Did you go to that one, Joel?
We've got a
I
collection.
figured. I thought you
Yeah, it was my buddy.
would be back home with one of those. I was like, thanks, honey. Thanks.
Brought you gifts. Musicians are so thoughtful. They're so thoughtful.
They're so great. They're
So has anybody refused to sign your van?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Robert Fripp. But Adrian Belew signed it. He was my favorite anyway. From King Crimson,
Oh,
Robert
okay.
Fripp, guitar player.
Yeah, we don't care about that guy. You didn't need that guy's signature. Whatever.
I was happy to have Adrian Belew's. There have been people who said, can I sign your van? I've been like, oh, not really, but sure.
Yeah, that was one of the other ones. Did you tell him like, yeah, sure, the quarter panel in the back left?
And the
I'm
gas
thinking,
cap.
who was it? Katie Lang signed Madonna.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, but it was like, when you're trying to, be respectable, it's like, so you have Madonna in here? It's like, no, actually it was Katie Lang, and she signed Madonna. One of those hard things to explain.
Yeah, but
But
that's fun.
there've been some interesting characters in there. Danzig,
Oh, I like
Oh,
Danzig.
I loved it.
Danzig, Glenn Danzig had my back. The opening band had left a guitar in the loading dock. And, I was talking, I didn't see it, and I ran like over it, smash over it. And the guy's guitar owner jumps out, started yelling at me. Danzig gets out of the back seat. He's like, hey, stupid, you should have never left it in the driveway. You left it in the dock. Get a new guitar. And he got in, and we took off.
I love it. I like nice guy Glenn Danzig stories.
I was like a fan after that, a fan of Danzig himself. The music, not necessarily me, but Danzig, thumbs up.
I love Danzig. I think he was great. Yeah, I had one of the
Well, I'm a third day kind of person.
Yeah. Well, he got your back though. That's pretty godly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Danzig is a person, spot on.
Nice. I like it.
Love that.
Did you ever have anybody sign over somebody else's name?
Not really. Yeah, and too, as time went on, some things faded, and so I lost a few.
Yeah, the summer.
John Popper. Somebody signed over John Popper because he kind of faded. There's just a few that have faded.
We'll have to send him back out. But there's skinny John Popper now, so it needs to be a different signature anyway.
Skinny pop.
There you go.
Yeah.
So who's the nicest person in your van? That's what I want to know. The nicest person.
Man, I'm so blessed. Everybody's been so kind, and so many have become friends. I'm gonna have to say it's a tie.
Dolly Parton.
No, I love Dolly, but she's never been in the van.
Oh, was she horrible?
That's one of my greatest moments, though, when I got to introduce her and my mom, because my sister told Dolly, I thought my mom was Dolly Parton until I was 12. I'm like, oh God.
Well, she must have loved that.
She did love it. It was quite awesome. But there's just that moment when you're like, oh, really? Did you just really say that, little sister? But I'm going to say it's a tie because I love two of these guys so much, between Jimmy Herring and Warren Haynes.
Jimmy Herring and Warren Hayes?
Haynes from Allman Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. What am I talking about? J-Mo. I mean, yeah, I could just start rattling off. And Chris Cornell. I mean, Chris Cornell meant a lot.
Oh, Lisa likes her Chris Cornell.
Sweet boy.
Yeah, she's going to get all excited.
My funny Chris Cornell story. So
Lisa, put the wine down. Put the wine down.
So the Guns was playing in Vegas, and Soundgarden was opening for them, and I was.
But you cut out who was playing in Vegas? You cut out just
Guns N' Roses.
Oh, Gina. Okay, Guns N' Roses playing in Vegas, and Chris Cornell was opening
with Soundgarden.
Right.
So we walk in. I walk into the hospitality area and the dressing room area and stuff. You know how they have all the TVs showing the stage in the dressing rooms and in the hospitality area. And I'm like huge pregnant with our daughter, Sky, our first daughter. And I walk backstage and I'm saying hi to everybody and I'm kissing everyone and hello. And then I look at the monitors and I see Chris Cornell on stage with his hair and his no shirt and his body. And I stop and I look at the TV and I'm like, who is that? And where do I get one? And Dizzy's like, really? I'm like, look at him. He's just like, Lisa. I'm like, sorry. Hormones, pregnancy hormones. I'm sorry.
What's great is I've heard this story like
He's a nice guy. He's so nice. And I was like, oh, you're beautiful and nice. Like, no, not fair.
He really was. He was nice. He was witty. He was so witty. Yeah. I can't say enough good things about him. The first time I met him, that's when he was doing his solo tour. And so he was doing a festival, Radio 99X Festival. And his tour manager, I got a big kudos to, Doug Nightwine, was very instrumental in getting him to sign. So he's like, what do you want me to sign? I was like, well, ideally that you would just write Chris loves Kim, and that way, if I'm looking up, I'm having a bad day, I will know God loves me, and Chris Cornell does too. And he just laughed.
So great.
And he signed Chris loves Kim. And forever then, after that, whenever I would pick him up, I'd be like in the nicest, up-to-date automobiles. He'd be like, what are you doing in this piece of shit? Like, where's the Astro?
Have you heard his daughter singing?
I love that.
Yeah, she did the tribute.
She kicks ass.
Yeah.
She's really good.
Good, yeah.
She's really good. Yeah, she's really, really good. And then I liked the Patience when they released it posthumously. I thought it was. I'm not a big fan of covers usually, but Chris Cornell I knew would be good, to be honest. But it's nice when you hear it and you still think it's good after. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah,
That's so
never take
great.
his soul away. He had soul, he had spirit, he had heart.
Lisa tells her story, like I've heard it like 3 times and she gets so excited.
I do.
It is exciting.
She
I just
likes
love
it.
when they're friendly and when they're nice and so talented and they're still just so human, you know. That
Yeah.
was like when I met Brian May. Like I'm kind of an idiot and I don't know who a lot of people are a lot of the time. And so we were in England and we were at, I think it was Wembley. I think it was Wembley. And I'm standing on the side of the stage and it was me and Sabrina. Do you remember Sabrina, Joel? She was the band's masseuse.
Of course, I talked to
Do you
her.
remember her?
Oh, different Sabrina. I thought you were talking about the lawyer Sabrina. I'm like, I talked to her last week.
Oh, no, I love her too. But anyway, they're masseuse Sabrina, and then she was dating Rob from Skid Row at the time. So it was the 3 of us sitting on the amps backstage on the side of the stage. And there's this tall ass dude with big hair sitting in front of me, like standing in front of me with a kid. And I'm like, who the hell is that guy? Like, can you tell that guy to get out of my way? I can't see. And Rob's like, Lisa, that's Brian May. I'm like, who the fuck is Brian May? And he's like, Lisa, Queen? I'm like, oh, shit. So he like heard his name and he turns to us like, oh, I'm sorry, darling. Am I in your way? And I'm like, cool, it's fine. You're cool. And like later, we were back at the hotel and he was there. And Sky was a baby at the time. We were on tour with her as a baby. And he sat down with me on the couch and she was like asleep. And we talked for like 2 hours about raising your kids on tour and what it's like to raise kids in that world, and just the smartest, nicest guy. And I'm like, I am an asshole because I did not know that you were Brian May.
I was like, well, he had like 80s hair, you know, and it's way off his head. He's already tall. I mean, it's kind of understandable.
He was blocking my.
Try navigating through the hip hop world around here in the big ATL.
Yeah.
You don't know who's who, and it's crazy because at some point everybody's somebody or they're related.
Yeah, well, yeah, I had a couple guys on here that did like they were engineers at Death Row, but it was a little difficult because I don't know who a lot of these guys are. I just never got into that kind of music. So they're going through the names, and I'm like, I have no idea who that guy is. Yep, never heard of that one. You know, Puff Daddy, heard of that guy? Know that dude.
Yeah, it's a whole different world. But I've had a few good times, like Common.
Yeah, that guy I've heard of.
He signed the band. I knew who he was eventually.
He's a really handsome guy.
He's very handsome. He's
really
quite fine.
Yeah, I know who that one is.
So does he write Common? And you're kind of like, can you also write your real name, dude? I'm not just some chick. Damn it.
No, I was good being just some chick, and Common was fine.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I'm so old school in the band.
You got to get Slash has a cool signature.
Slash does have a cool signature.
Very cool. And then Stevie Ray Vaughan would be tough, but that's my favorite. He had an awesome signature.
Oh, Stevie Ray wasn't in my band.
Well, no, it would have been a while back. Were you working when Stevie was? No, he would have been.
No, I was good. Sonny Landrum, who played with Stevie, is in the band.
That's neat. Yeah, I did a one tour, and the guy was the tour manager could do anybody's signature. So you would just tell him, and he would just go through the whole thing, and he was so good at it. So I'm like, Stephen Ray Vaughan, and just don't tell anybody. Let me see. And he would do it like so so good. I know it's bad, but it's still cool looking. I don't know. I worked with this one guy because I do a lot of memorabilia now. I sell a lot of memorabilia, and he can.
Really? I got a van.
Yeah. Well, how much do you want for your van?
I don't know.
Publicity. I saw it's got a Facebook page.
Yeah. Let's talk after this.
The what?
I said, let's talk after this. It's kind of my retirement, right? I've got the memories. Now I need the cash.
Because it's because it's big, and that's tough.
It's big. It's a whole van. It's a whole van big.
Yeah, because I read that you were trying to maybe see if the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame would be interested. I know they have Janis's Porsche, and they might have John Lennon's Rolls Royce. Am I right? Do you know?
I think they do. I mean, they've got it's a big place. They've got space.
Well, cars take up a lot of space. I have the handwritten sheet music for Pink Floyd, The Wall.
No.
Yeah. And
My husband will be just your new best friend. That's just amazing. Our house, everything is done in the Pink Floyd, like our fire pit. It's insane, the Pink Floyd. He's done tables with the hammer legs, and just, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother segment.
Is it cooler than meeting Chris Cornell?
No.
Yeah, it's definitely not as cool as Chris Cornell. So.
No. I'm on the other end of the spectrum there. It's, for me, it's all about the Allman Brothers and Widespread Panic.
Oh, Widespread Panic.
Okay.
Amazing. So Widespread Panic used to be really popular, but just regionally. And then they blew up across the country. But one of my favorite bands, fantastic music. I'm with you there. I like them. Anyway, yeah, sorry. So I brought up the Pink Floyd thing because they're going to be doing a museum exhibit here, and they're wondering if they have enough space. But it's just lyrics. It's a little album.
Wow.
So everybody their stuff takes space. So anyway, maybe we'll.
Have you been to the Hall of Fame?
You cut out, Lisa. What do you say?
Have you been to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, we get in for free because we're roadies.
Oh wait, I read that in your book. I did. I just read that in your book. That
We got in for free. Yeah, we used to get in for free because if you show your laminate, they'll let you in. I don't know if they still do it. It's been a lot of years, but yeah, I went in with this a wardrobe lady who had worked with David Bowie. So it was really neat because as we're walking through, she's like, I made that and I sewed that and I did that. And it's like going through a museum with a docent who like helped make the art. I mean, It's so neat. And then honestly, most of the stuff I didn't really care about because when you're surrounded by the music guys all day, you're kind of like, dude, big deal. But every now and then, yeah. So, but like, I think it was Jim Morrison's report cards. That was very cool to me. I thought that was neat.
That's cool.
It's cool, right? There's like little things that you look at and you're like, oh, I kind of like that. That's kind of neat. So that's one of the things I like about the memorabilia game. Most of the stuff, I don't really care one way or the other. But I sold recently, I had the original Jiminy Cricket made for Walt Disney's approval. It was the #1 Jiminy Cricket, the maquette. And I thought that was so cool. And I have one of the guys on here. His name's Kenneth Crouch. I don't know if you ever drove him around, Ken, but he played piano for Eric Clapton and Brandy, and I mean lots of people. And I saw him at my friend's, and my friend had a grand piano in the living room. And Kenneth sat down and he played "When You Wish Upon a Star," and I was kind of like, that is so cool. Everybody has something that gets them going.
It is the little things that just mean something to us. There's some little things that just spark a reason that we even do what we do, because it's an interesting lifestyle. Like for me, most people, they start out as a runner, they progress, they go to production assistants, tour managers. I mean, I know some amazing tour managers who started out as runners, and I'm like, I can stay home. I have the best of both worlds. I see amazing tours, meet amazing people, and I still sleep in my bed.
The sleeping in the bed part I get. It was tough to travel a lot. And so that was actually one thing I was going to ask you about, Lisa. So you and your daughters are so close. You're like sisters. You guys are so tight, at least from my perspective. Do you think that had anything to do with that Dizzy is away so often and that you're there taking care of the girls most of the time?
I mean, probably. Yeah, probably. I mean, he was gone, like the Illusion tour. We got married in 90. So they were just recording the Illusions when we got married, which is another funny story. But we went on tour. It was like 90 to 93, maybe, I guess, was the Illusion tour.
Long.
91 to 93. It was a long time. And so we went out a lot because Sky was born in 92. So we went out. Her whole first year of life we spent on tour. which was an very interesting, traveling with an infant in that chaos that was the 90s of Guns N' Roses.
But you get to meet Uncle Brian May.
I did. And it was, I don't know, it was great. It was scary as hell because having an infant when, you know, people are rioting left and right, you know, it was a little terrifying. But they stopped touring when Shade was born, our little one. She was born in 96. She's not so little anymore. She'll be 25 this year. But so he was home a lot after that. Like he missed Sky's birth because he was on a boat in Greece. And he was there. Well, he was there physically. When Shade was born, my cousin took him out for margaritas. So it was a little mentally not there when Shade was born. But so he was home a lot for Shade's childhood, not so much for Sky's. But, you know, they might have daddy issues. Who knows? But yes, they're very close. And they're doing okay. They're, you know, Shade, did Dizzy tell you Shade's making a record with him?
No.
She's an incredible, oh my goodness. She's an incredible singer, songwriter. Like she's amazing. She actually wrote a song for his new record. It's called My Wounds, I believe, about depression. And it's so good. And Dizzy sings and she sings backup. And it's fabulous. And then she's working on her stuff. So
I love Dizzy.
Yeah.
Dizzy.
She's so good.
Dizzy is an incredible singer. I love his voice.
Yes.
I hate giving him compliments.
Yeah, his stuff.
I hope he doesn't watch this, but I do. I really, he has a fantastic voice. He really, well,
he's
he what?
He's very talented. He's a very good dad. He just, you know, had trouble being a husband. Like most musicians, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be careful on that one. I do remember.
Well, I have a caterer, so
he's a good guy.
He's one of the best friends I've ever had.
He's a great guy. He's one of the best guys. He's a really good guy. But yeah, we our kids are amazing. Sky's gonna be a veterinarian in 2 weeks. She graduates.
Killer.
So it's insane. I think she was switched at birth, but it's fine.
Yeah, I think I'd say I was kind of mean, but I'm like, you have a dad who doesn't know how to read music, and your mom writes romance novels. Yeah. And you're a doctor, dude. You know, like it skips a generation. I mean, your parents, Dizzy's parents are like, woo! It took us a long time, but look, we got someone who knows who's educated. Yeah, I called Dizzy and I said to him, I'm like, I got an idea. I'm like, I want you to work. What we're going to do is we're going to do a whole album and we're going to do Vivaldi's Four Seasons on the piano with you. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That'd be really cool. And he's like, it would be cool, but I'm not doing that. Okay. All right.
He did like a album for, he had to learn, I don't even remember what, it was some classical composer. I can't even remember who it is now, but he had to do, it was called Steinway to Heaven. And it was a charity album. And he spent like 2 weeks trying to learn this damn song, not reading music. Like he doesn't know how to read music. He's
a lot of musicians. Song. I think that song's on Spotify. I think I've heard it. He did. I think he did do it.
It's good.
Yeah, he great.
Did a really good job. Yeah.
Yeah, I put it together.
I want to know what I want to ask him a question, and it's going to sound a little strange, but I want to know what the most salacious thing that happened in your van. That's what I want to know.
You know, it kind of, I wish there was some outrageous stories, but really, it's all just been fun, you know? There's not been anything.
Yeah.
I had to take
no chaos.
There's a couple just different, like, the most people I ever had in it was 13, including myself. And it's a mini Astro van. Okay. It was these guys from Sound Tribe Sector 9. They played at Masquerade. Okay. And we like piled in my van. And we pull up to their hotel, which actually happened to just be like this huge urban rage. And here's this whole van full of hippie guys. And we're like pulling up in my van. And we get to the top and the security goes, I think you have the wrong hotel. And they're like bailing out. No, man, this is us. It's just like a big Cheech and Chong moment. And I let them out.
Smoke billowing.
There's been more fun times. Do you know what I mean? Nothing really.
What's the wackiest thing you've had to like grab for the guys on the way back to the hotel or anything?
There's been two funny moments. One moment was in New Orleans, and they had on the runner list, get so-and-so's girlfriend out of jail. So I had to go to New Orleans jail.
It wasn't Lisa, was it? Lisa's like, oh.
Well, another funny story with
Don't tell my daughter she's going to be a doctor. Shh.
I had went to New Orleans just to go to the show and have a good time. And it was a time when a couple of people in the band were trying to get sober, and their runner stopped at a bar with them, left them in the car while he ran in to score some whatever. And the next, like an hour later, I get a call. You're not partying anymore. You're starting work tomorrow. And so from that point on, I went down to New Orleans and drove widespread every Halloween until Katrina.
Oh my gosh.
So that was one.
Cool.
And then one time I had to go to an adult novelty store and get 6 streamline. I can't even remember the name now. 6 streamline vibrators. And so I was really trying to avoid saying they're not for me. But I get up to the counter, and this time they're like, you're either pathetic or one hell of a woman. I don't know.
Rob Halford again.
The guy was like, do you need batteries? And I was like, oh, man.
Spice Girls.
Trying to say they're not
Definitely
for me, but I really don't know. I've got to call somebody. But they were for this one-hit wonder band called Lit.
Called who?
Lit.
Oh, I thought you said Unit, and I'm like, that makes total sense.
I know what Lit is.
Remember
like that one-hit wonder band. They might have 2 hits, and the guy would play slide guitar with one of the vibrators and then throw it out in the crowd.
That's a
lucky person who caught it.
Yeah.
A couple of interesting, different things on the runner list.
Yeah, that's different.
That's awesome.
So I was at an Easter get together. I don't know if we're allowed to have parties, but I was at an Easter get together, and this guy. They're like, yeah, so Joel, I think it was about my book. I don't think I'd started the podcast even. And this guy's talking to me and he goes, oh yeah, I used to date Dizzy from Guns N' Roses' daughter. And I kind of look over and I'm like,
what?
Yeah, you better, you better be good here. Who the fuck are you?
Right?
And he's like, no. We were in high school. We never did anything. I'm like, oh, okay, continue. I was like, it was funny because Erin, my girlfriend, she's like, you got all like daddy bear, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah. I'm like, who the fuck are you? What are you talking about? And he was actually a really nice kid.
No, do you remember his name?
But then, yeah,
his name?
I don't, but I'll find out for you. I'll find out. He was actually a really nice guy. He was a nice guy, but it was funny. He goes, no, we didn't even. He's an electrician, but it was pretty funny because I was just kind of like,
Thanks, Joel.
Yeah, but then the second part of this is I'm like, oh shit, I'm at a party with people that are the age of my friends' kids. This is no good. What do you say, Lisa?
Which daughter was it?
The younger one. It was even worse. He works with, I know it was bad. Well, he like lives by my friend or something really random. He ended up being a really nice kid. He was actually a really nice guy. So, but I'll find out the name.
Curious now.
Maybe we'll text her and see, hey, what's the electrician's number?
I'm going to text her right now. I'm going to text Shade and be like, who did you date that's an electrician? Texting her.
To the bottom of this shit. All right. So So what's wrong with the van? How come you're not driving it no more?
Well, at this
There's nowhere
point,
left to sign?
there's nowhere left to sign, and it's just too valuable. If somebody hits me, it's done.
Because you totaled the first one.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I've kind of gotten so many signatures, I just don't want to chance it anymore. I might break it out for Marcus King. I don't know yet. Because I love
So
that
are you
kid.
still driving?
Yeah, I
Are
still
you
drive.
still a runner?
I'm still a runner.
Cool.
I started in '96 at the Olympics here when the Olympics were here in Atlanta.
For me, it would be way cooler to here, I'm going to text the guy while we're talking and see if I can find out who this is, because at least it's dying to know
We're
here.
going to compare notes now.
They get back, yeah. So do you remember Jim's Meat Market, Lisa?
Yeah.
So this guy, he owns Jim Meat's Market, and so he's like my new buddy. But in LA here, in the San Francisco Valley, that place it's awesome, Cam. You want high-end meats and whatnot, go there. So he's like one of my new neighbors. He dated a friend of mine years ago. And so him and I went out for a beer afterwards. And so I was like, dude, I saw him a couple weeks ago. I'm like, you're my dude date. And he kind of looks at me like, what, man? I'm like, you were out with this girl, and then I don't know what happened. I don't really care. But you and I, we went to get beer, and then you're like, I don't feel like drinking. And so I got to drink all the beer, and you drove me home. It was a total dude date, and you're the man. So he was totally creeped out. It was great. And he goes back into the house, and then my friend's like, oh, no, it's Joel. Let me explain to you what's going on. So he did, and then he comes in and he goes, I do remember you. I'm like, it wasn't a one-night stand. I'm like, this is so cool. So we've been hanging out all the time, and he's a really good guy. He's really cool.
It's funny. I thought you were asking about a band for a moment.
With the Dude Date, man? What? Dude Date would be a great band name. Every now and then we do these great band names.
It is a great band.
It's a great band name. All right, hold on.
I thought you meant
Joel,
Meat
my
Market.
favorite part of your book.
Yeah?
The Meat Market Dude Date.
The what?
In your book, Joel, the scene in your book where I don't remember who you're with, but you're backstage somewhere and somebody's girlfriend of the week was complaining to all the other roadies about he was flying in another girl, and your reply to her, I was cry laughing. When you called her a dumb whore.
I know. Yeah, sorry, Cam, that doesn't sound good now, does it? It's actually verbatim.
She deserved it. She deserved it.
She did. It's so stupid. You have these ladies, all right? So these ladies, they come and you're dating a huge rock star. What do you think you're getting out of this? Now, if you're in it because that's what you want is let's just say craziness, then hell yeah, whatever, right on, girl, woo. But if you think you're going to get a white picket fence, it's probably the wrong dude, right? It just makes sense. With that being said, it's funny. I think I might have talked about this already in a different one. So, Josh Todd, Buck Cherry?
The Buck Cherry guys have signed the van.
That's cool. So I like them. I'm a big fan. And Josh was in a movie I did years ago that Dizzy actually did all the music for. And so he asked me to come to his house. So I go to his house, and it did have a white picket fence. And this guy's tattooed head to toe. And his song is lit up, right? I love the cocaine. It's that's the cocaine guy. So I love the cocaine. So I go into the house, and his wife makes me tea because I'm English, and with a little teacup, a full English teacup with the kettle and it was. I might have even had crumpets. I don't remember, but it was just right. It was awesome. So we sit down at the table, and Josh just looks at me and he's all, "Shut the fuck up." I'm like, I didn't say nothing. And he's just like, I'm just telling you, shut the fuck up. I'm all right. So then he goes, so in your movie, I'm down with the role, but why? I don't want to be drunk guy at bar. I want a name, dude. Okay. What would you like to be? He's like, I think Hutch. Hutch it is. I'm like, you will from now ever be known as Hutch. So we called him Hutch in the movie, and that was my meeting. But it was really cute. He had the white picket fence. The wife was a sweetheart, everything. And I'm just kind of like, what the hell? So you never know. You never know what people are like at home. But yeah, not seen in the book. I was a little brutal, but it's honest. It was totally true of what happened.
No, these girls, I'm sure Kim, I'm sure you've seen some of the groupie girls too. They're
That was the
ruthless
running
and
saying, no hoochie
cool.
mamas in the van.
Hoochie mamas.
No hoochie mamas in the
Okay.
van.
See my new bottle opener? Yeah, Lisa.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
You don't lose it. You won't lose it.
You hold that quite well there, Joel, for a straight man.
Like he's very experienced.
Straight.
Hey, we're not here to judge. We're just here to tell our own stories.
Yeah, you guys tell a story. Tell it real quick here. Looking bad. Quick.
Lisa,
Let's go. Groupie. Okay.
I've not worked
Go.
a whole lot of Guns N' Roses shows, but was Opie the production manager when you were around?
Opie! Yes, Opie. Oh, I love him.
He
Yes.
is married. That's how I even got into this whole thing. He is married to a girl named Simone. And Simone and I were roommates. And she was advancing
gosh.
Ozfest down at the amphitheater here. And that's when they got together. And for their wedding, I was their runner. I took their dog, Josie.
Oh
She
my
was
gosh.
like the flower girl, dog matron of honor.
Love
So yeah,
this.
I love him dearly.
He's so nice. Such a good guy. Yeah.
You know,
How funny.
Yeah,
Small world.
rumor has it that he played a big part in getting Axl to do the thing with Guns N' Roses. No, wait a minute. Axl went on to do the thing with AC/DC
Oh yeah.
when Brian.
That was awesome.
Rumor has it Opie had a big part
Brian.
in that. Kind of planting the
Probably.
seed and suggesting it.
He texted me back,
Yeah.
Lisa, and he's like,
I
I think
love
it's text me back as well. I think you're writing to the wrong person. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. All right. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
I know Shade replied, what?
This poor kid probably he's dropping names and he's gonna be embarrassed here. Well, we're redoing my pool, and then we're gonna have Lisa come up. We'll invite this kid over. We'll grill him. We'll give him a hard time. All right, sorry, we were talking about more important things. All right, so we retired the van because it's valuable. And so, okay, I got a name. Nick.
Oh shit, okay.
Nick. There's a lot of Nicks in the world, but this is the Nick.
She has a friend Nick that she used to ride motorbikes with, like dirt bikes with, but I don't know if they dated.
No. Maybe she's not telling you everything.
I'm asking her.
So what are you doing now? So are you driving something that belongs to production, or you have your own ride still? And then
Yeah, we've got a couple more minivans. I've got a Dodge Caravan. I've got a Kia Sedona, but nobody signed it. I'll never have the same caliber of people that were in that van to start with. Like I said, Chris Cornell, Elton. I actually, right over my visor, I have Elton, Davey, and Nigel all together. And then Donna signed it, and Guy Babylon. I did Bob Birch.
oh, cool.
Yeah. So, like I said, we did the rehearsals here at Center Stage, and then the recording of Captain and the Kid there. So
So my first interview I released on this thing, it wasn't the first one I did. There was a couple sketchy ones that we might release after because I was pretty new. I'm still pretty bad at this, clearly, as I'm more interested in who dated Lisa's kid than talking about your van. But
all good.
But in strict professionalism.
Joel, is this last Hollister?
Oh, I don't know. We probably shouldn't say, but you cut out anyway. But I have no idea. I don't know. I know he's an electrician. And he got drunk and he told me he'd come work on my house for free. And I was like, you kid, you're going places. I'm like, so I got this house recently. And so I've had these roadies over fixing it, so nothing's working right now. The lights all went out immediately after the guy left the house. And I'm like, this is what happens when you hire lighting guys to rewire. And so my girlfriend's like, we need to get real people, like people who know how to fix stuff. Not fucking roadies. And I'm like,
I mean, roadies know how to fix stuff.
yeah, but if it breaks, we keep being employed. Yeah.
All right, hold on. I have to get more wine. Hold on.
Duty calls. So you know what I think's neat is that you still like really love what you do, Kim, and it's been 20 plus years.
Yeah, since 1996.
I think it's cool because so many people work hard towards trying to find a career that they'll just be happy with, I think. And for example, her daughter, to become a veterinarian, you have to go to school for, we could ask her, but like 8 years or something, just to be happy. Because at the end of the day, it's just to do something on a daily basis that you enjoy doing. I think it's kind of neat that you kind of fell into it for real and you love it after all these years. I'm right.
I've been very blessed to kind of have a little niche. If you're in Atlanta, you need a runner, you need a driver. Here's your person. Here's your girl. And I've been so blessed. I was down in Muscle Shoals driving Greg and Tank around for the last recording of Southern Blood, the last album that Greg did. And I saw myself in the video there for one of the songs. I'm like, there I am. Yeah. I made the credits for I'm blanking and I'm glad you're editing this for the deals. And
we're not going to cut that part out, by the way.
Okay, fine.
That's got to stay.
People who know me know I'm a little.
Got to stay.
It's the long-term effect of short-term memory loss.
No, people love you, man. I asked her a little bit. Like Carrie Charbonneau is like your. She thinks you're the bee's knees, man.
Oh, I love that girl. We go so far back.
So before Dave Matthews, so she was actually my first guest because she's one of my best friends, and I knew I would suck at this. So we went through and we chatted through. The way you say, Lisa, she's saying something nice, so we have to make her repeat that.
You don't suck at it.
You truly don't. I've felt so comfortable.
Yeah. I've slept in.
And I was scared.
I've slept in many a passenger van.
I got this just for you.
Oh, that's amazing. So my last name's Miller. It's pretty close. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
I like it. Yeah. So with Carrie, Carrie was the first guest. So Carrie worked with Dave Matthews for like ever, but before she was with Dave, she worked on Poison with me do you know Mark Hogue too? I think you do, right?
I do. I know Mark Hogue very well.
We won't say anything nice about him because he doesn't deserve it. I worked for Mark Hogue, and Carrie was like, she was the only girl on the tour, I think, if I remember right. And she sucked. She was mean. And I just wanted... all I wanted in life, so I got spoiled on Stone Temple Pilots. I would get bags of Funyuns, and then on their rider, nobody updated their rider. So their rider from the tour, which had been years and years earlier, had Yoo-Hoo and shit that nobody even knew was on the rider. So they brought us cases of Yoo-Hoo, and I'm putting it under the bus. And I figured, well, maybe I'll try Yoo-Hoo. I don't know what it is. But Yoo-Hoo is just straight sugar. So I'm like, as soon as I open one, I'm like, wow, Yoo-Hoo's good. And so I didn't tell anybody that I was just sticking on the bus, and I'm drinking tons of Yoo-Hoo. Oh. And then Funyuns. I end up like, Funyuns are amazing. And these are fantastic thing to have on the rider. So on Poison, I was after Guns N' Roses. I was telling her like, hey, can you give me some damn Funyuns? So she's like, come on, what? I'm like, I like Funyuns and I like them a lot. So she's like, I'm not getting you Funyuns. Just go back to fucking work or whatever. So, she's like, just go fuck off. Fuck off. I'm dealing with stuff and I don't like you. And what would she tell me? That I was arrogant. I was irritating, and I didn't know jack shit about my job. so finally,
that's our girl.
That was her, yeah. She take no shit. So finally, what happened was she was like, she got me Funyuns, but she got a big bag of Funyuns. So then I go and I'm like, what the fuck? So I got you Funyuns, dude. And I'm like, you got a big bag, which means all these dirty bastards are going to be sharing the same Funyuns as me. I ain't sharing no Funyuns with these guys. Are nasty, dude. They're like roadies that are just bleh. they actually, no, I should have said they actually do work where I don't do nothing. And so they're like dirty. So she's like, so you're not going to eat them? I'm like, absolutely not. No. I'm like, you need to do what I told you, which is to get the small bags of Funyuns, and the small ones are individually packed so you don't have to touch dirty people. So it took me a little while longer, but eventually Carrie got me my small bags of Funyuns, and that's, yeah, it's been really nice. That's a buddy you keep for life.
She is good people. I first met her when she was out with Audio Slave.
Oh, great.
She was working with Chris Kanzi, and they did the Tabernacle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a long time.
I loved Audio Slave. They have these reincarnation bands. People don't like them, but I thought Audio Slave was awesome. I was immediately too. You know, there's some bands that you got to listen to the album a few times to like kind of get in the groove. That was not the case with Audio Slave. I thought they were amazing right off the bat. I really enjoyed it.
Right. Leonard.
Chris Cornell is one of the few people I've ever just looked in my rearview mirror and drooled over.
I was telling someone it was just like, you know, people have passed away too soon.
Don't get me started, Kim, on Chris. So don't get me started on Chris, man.
She loves Chris.
You know how I feel.
I'm with you. He was just a beautiful human being inside and out.
It makes the rest of us guys worthless. I can't,
you know, he did raise the bar.
But you're funny.
I try.
That's a long way, Joel Miller.
Think so?
So Joel, are you still touring or are you done?
Yeah.
No, I haven't toured since it's like 2004 or 2006. You know, at the end of the day, I don't know if Lisa got this far in the book. If so, hey, sorry, but I got lonely. I just didn't, you know, what I appreciated about touring was I was never like a kid with a spoon in my mouth. My parents didn't have a lot of money. My dad was just a car mechanic, but, you know, we had food, we had shoes. And so everything was okay, but I didn't know how to fix stuff. So they hired me on Stone Temple Pilots. Charlie Hernandez, have you worked for him, Kim?
Oh, yeah. I love Charlie.
I used to call him Dad. He was my road dad. And
you know young Charles?
That's it.
You know what? As a little boy, yes, but not as an adult. Not as an adult. But he was a good kid, man. He was a nice kid.
Young Charles has done very well for himself. He's got a company that they do all the passports and travel arrangements. He's done really well, but he'll always still be young Charles.
Yeah, they're good people. All these guys are great guys. And so, you know, they took me under the wing. They taught me stuff, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I honestly had never swung a hammer in my life, and I'm supposed to be your tour carpenter. So there's like one I didn't put it. It's not in the book, but Sully is the singer of Godsmack, and he wanted to fix a road case. And he just borrowed my tools that STP had bought because I didn't know how to fix the case. And he did a really great job, by the way. He's very handy, and he fixed it himself. But yeah, I didn't really know what was going on. So it was cool because these guys helped me grow up and they toughened me up a little bit, which was a great part of growing up. But then at the end, I had worked for Guns N' Roses. They were my favorite band. They were such a big deal to me. I loved everything Guns N' Roses. I listened to that Appetite album every single day. And it sounds cliche just because their fan base is so huge. But I loved them. So when I got to work for them, it was like, I used to say it was my Rolling Stones, but it wasn't. It was my Guns N' Roses. It was my opportunity to work for my end all be all. And I got to the highest point of the ladder of what I had wanted. And I was still young. I was still 24, maybe. And so I had the opportunity to maybe try other ventures in life, but I had already toured with my favorite band in the world. So I did work after that. I did a couple tours after that, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't as exciting because I'd already done what I never thought would be possible. And so I tried different things, but I still love music and I always have. And what do you say, Lisa? You cut out, Lisa. What do you say?
So they were the most fun of all the bands because I said they were the most fun of all bands, and we had the best time touring. Like I will eventually finish my memoirs, and you can see exactly how much fun we had. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I only did 2 shows.
Damn good.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is like, I was telling Lisa the other week or whatever. And the thing is people, they love to hear the smear talk and all the smack and all this stuff. But the truth is like, I appreciate getting paid by these guys. I didn't understand why they were paying me, Kim. It made no sense. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but I appreciate that they did. And what was neat is like, through my personal experiences, I liked all these guys better. And I like them better because they're all just people. And they're just, when they pick up a guitar, they're damn good. I have a scene in my book where Axl picked up the guitar and he played guitar. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know Axl could play guitar. And like the fan people on this website, they started like, how could this fucking guy have worked for the band and not know he plays guitar? Well, I mean, hey, it is what it is. I never knew that. So when you see that in person, for me, it was really cool. It was really neat. And to see just genuine talent, which is the same with Dizzy. When I watch Dizzy work, you're amazing. And I think it's a compliment when you've worked for genuinely the best people in the world. When you say to somebody, hey, you're good, it's such a compliment because I've seen the best. And I love that there's always more. Who's the next guy who's going to get in your van? You don't know. And when they get in, they're like, hey, lady, how's it going? And you're kind of like, oh, hey, Elton John. How are you, man? I love your glasses. Oh, thank you. It's nice. It makes your whole day worthwhile. It makes your whole career cool. And that's what I love about the music industry. I still do. I love hearing new bands. I love hearing the old guys. I can't wait till Guns N' Roses comes out with the next album, because I know it's going to be good. I'm going to love it. Right? It's going to be amazing.
I mean, forever, so Chinese democracy took 14 years or something. Is it for Chinese democracy took 14 years or something like that?
Good things take time.
Oh my God, it's amazing. I'm not knocking it. It's so good. Like some of the best songs that they've ever done are on that album. The blues. There was
so
a time.
Good. Madagascar.
So good.
Madagascar was brilliant.
So good. So good. Yeah.
And now,
the first time I heard it was Fernando, and I cried. I just cried like a baby. Like Fernando played it for me.
The blues was mine. When I heard the blues the first time, I was like, wow. Like, I got all excited. Yeah, because it's like, it was a next reincarnation of stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's like a terrible way to put of stuff. It was great of stuff. But I don't know, man. What's your favorite?
I've known those guys since I was 18 years old.
How did you meet everybody? How'd you get in the Guns N' Roses clique?
Well, so when I graduated high school, I started going to college. I was studying journalism. That was my major, journalism. And I was interning. Well, before I started interning, I had to do a story for my college magazine about the rock and roll scene on Sunset Boulevard and the Hollywood rock scene. So I was 18 and my best friend was 16. And we were driving to Hollywood and interviewing people at Cat House and the Whiskey. We interviewed Tammy and Ricky. And luckily, Julie, my roommate, my friend who ended up my roommate, she's the girl in the Welcome to the Jungle video when she's walking down the street and she's in bed with Steven. That's Julie. So we would go to LA every day. And I was living down here in Orange County. We'd go every day to do interviews for my magazine article. And we ended up meeting Duff and Steven and his friend Walter from Seattle and just hit it off and became friends, whatever. And so they're like, come up tomorrow and come up here. So we ended up coming up just for fun every other day. And then I started interning at Rip Magazine, which was Hustler's rock magazine, Larry Flint's rock magazine, which Dell also worked for. And Lon Friend, I think, was the editor. So I started interning there. So I was up in LA every day and I'm like, this is stupid. I need to move up here. So I'm like, I said to Julie, do you want to move with me? So we moved up and Steven needed a roommate. This is before Appetite came out. It was like 1986, like the end of 1986, beginning of 1987. And he needed a place to live. We got a 1-bedroom duplex on Fuller and Fountain. Steven slept in the laundry room. Julie had the bedroom, and then I was in the living room. And we just lived there. And then they became huge. And then after they became huge, I ended up meeting Dizzy in 1989 through my friend Lisa. And I was going to Finland to see some friends of mine. Do you know the band Smack? Yeah. So my friend Ronnie was the guitar player for Smack. And so I was going out to see them. And I met Dizzy tap dancing in cowboy boots to Paula Abdul at my friend Lisa's house. I was like, who the hell is that guy? She's like, that's Dizzy. I'm like, his name is Dizzy? Okay. So I left for a month. I came home. We ended up going out for my 21st birthday, took him home. He moved in 2 weeks later. And then like a year later in like January, maybe it was January, Axel called him and asked him to join Guns N' Roses. And he was like so confused and worried because he was in that band, The Wild, and didn't want to, screw them over. And it was so just lost on what he should do. I'm like, you're going to join Guns N' Roses because they're Guns N' Roses. Like, what are you thinking? So he did. And then we got married in July of that same year. And he left for Rock in Rio right after that. And it was like, that was his first huge show. So that was a short summary.
Oh, that's quick. That's cool. You guys been together? You were kids.
I was 21 or 22 when we got married. Yeah.
Oh, that's kids.
Crazy. He was 26. He was 26. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I called him Darren a couple, or maybe I called her. I asked him. He didn't like it.
No, only his mom called him that.
Yeah, he said.
Or his dad. His dad called him Darren. His mom calls him Dares. So. Yeah,
he didn't like it, but I wanted to keep doing it to piss him off, but no, he really don't like it. So it was kind of funny.
It's funny. Yeah.
Names for any people, Kim?
No, he's a good guy.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
You got any nicknames for any of these fellas? Did Chris become like Chrissy Bear to you or anything?
He did not. It was just, he was just Chris.
So that. Yeah. Who's ridden in your van the most?
Probably Warren Haynes. Yeah, Warren's ridden in there a lot.
And so, as like a kid, you were a big Allman Brothers fan because you said Allman Brothers earlier. So like Allman Brothers was that was awesome.
Yeah, I was a big Jackson Browne fan. Jackson Browne, Bonnie Raitt, and they have both signed the band.
The story, I think it's true. The one with Jackson Browne, I think so. He had a demo, and it had gotten to, I don't know, the A&R person's office or something, and the person at the front desk pulled it out of the garbage because they thought he was really good looking, and they listened to it, and he was good, and so they made the A&R person listen to it, and I think that's how he got going.
I don't know. I've never heard that story. I know he hung out with Glenn Frey and all the Eagles guys. They were all that Southern California singer, songwriter hang kind of thing.
I love Glenn Frey. I'm not a big Eagles fan, but I liked Glenn Frey. I don't know. What ruined it was the Big Lebowski. It became like what everybody. I hate the Eagles, man. Fucking hate the Eagles, man. Like, I don't know, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of Hotel California. When it comes on, I'm like, oh, song's so fucking long too.
It is a long song.
So long.
Was it Timothy B. Schmidt? Is that his name?
Who? What?
Oh, Timothy B. Schmidt.
Shade wants to know which high school this kid went to because she knows Nick's from 3 of the high schools she went to. But she didn't date anyone.
Like father, like daughter. Shit, dude. Hold on, Lisa. Okay, well, hold on. I'm on this.
I see you.
Actually, my friend's not gonna know. How the hell would he know what high school I do?
I don't know. He might. Just ask what city he's from.
Know what high?
Sorry, Kim. This is like family drama.
I'm curious too.
Well, this is important, Kim.
Hey, I'm with you. I want to know myself.
You know what's funny is if she watches this, she's gonna be like, "My God, that was so long ago. Who cares?" And we're like, it's just like 4 years for her or something. Yeah. I mean,
it's like inquiring minds have to know.
She's like, I know Nick's from 3 high schools. Which one? I'm like, oh my God, you little tramp.
Did you ride 4-wheelers?
With the motorcycle? Ask him if he rides bikes, because it might be that Nick. If it's that Nick, I like that one. That one's nice.
A lot of typing. Hold on.
I don't know any other ones.
Yeah, so I've written here. Does Nick ride motorcycles? What high school did Nick go to? And this has become the main focus of my interview with his mom.
Just curious.
We're going to get big sponsors after this, ladies.
It's organic.
I'm glad you two came on. This is going to be huge.
The PTA is going to call you. You'll see.
I'm going to have it. So, do you like Mark Hug or Charlie Hernandez better, Cam?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. I will say I know Mark better.
Mark's actually, so all joking aside, he's actually a real sweetheart and he's pretty connected. So we were in Indianapolis, which he's Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
He got us hooked up. We went to go to the NASCAR facility where they were working on the cars for, I don't know my race car guys, but like one of the big names. And that was really neat because he's a dork. He loves racing cars. That's it.
Oh, yeah. That's what he does in his off time. He did have a car for a while. I don't know if he still does.
He has like these mini car things he was showing me that are
those are cool.
Crazy. But he, what's the guy's name? He's a huge name. And we walked through the whole facility and they showed us how they put the cars together and stuff. And that was really, really cool. But I think a lot of what makes it stuff neat like that is that you're going through a place like that with somebody who knows what they're looking at.
Right.
And cares so much about it. Jeff Gordon, that was the dude's name.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I know that is a big name.
Big name, right? Big name. So it was really neat. We went on Poison and everybody went and checked it out. And yeah, it was cool. I mean, they put the car, remember, they put the car on a like a lift and it x-rays the whole car and tells them everything about it. And I'm kind of looking like, this is sort of like Total Recall, but for cars. This is neat stuff. You guys are making the world a better place. You know, keep racing.
Keep driving in those circles, guys.
My father did Formula One, so it was different. You know, the thing with the NASCAR, you see the car go around the whole time. And so with Formula One, you don't. So as a little kid, you would just sit there at the finish line, and then every now and then we would, you'd kind of like, okay.
Do that again.
And then you'd wait to do it again. Actually, that second one was bad. All right, hold on. Joel, I have no idea, dude. I just drink with the guy. And I haven't interviewed him for his life fucking story. Wow.
Tell him to get on.
The world may never know your daughter dated, Lisa.
We'll never know which
Nick. This is going to lead to a follow-up on this.
We'll have to do a follow-up episode.
I'm just going to make her text them all. Be like, text every single Nick and ask them if they met Joel.
There's going to be one poor Nick who'll be like, oh, I met that guy. He was kind of a dick, and then he was nicer after. You kind of give me crap.
Once he found out I was going to do free electrical work for him, he was a great guy.
Cam, you got the important part down. That guy's going to come here and rewire my house.
Exactly.
I like this, Nick. This Nick is going places.
And he's starting with my house.
Hey, Joel, I rewatched your movie the other day, by the way.
Oh, God, I haven't watched that movie in a lot of years. What did you think?
Well, it was still great. And I did not know that your Robin, is that her name? The character Robin? She's my favorite demon on Supernatural.
Nice.
I was like, I know that actress.
Yeah, they all did stuff.
Meg, she's Meg. Yeah. And you got the big crazy guy with the eyes. You got him in your movie too.
Tiny Lister.
Big dude with the crazy head.
Tiny Lister was
so
he was
rad.
Evo on Friday, and then he was in the WWE. He was
Yes.
remember he was
That's
scary. He was the new guy
it.
who was gonna kill
Oh,
Hulk. He was gonna
yes.
take him out. Yeah, that was
I love
cool.
that guy.
So Tiny.
Yeah. So I was
I feel bad I don't know your movie.
Oh, you're not missing much.
better watch it, Kim.
My mom actually, it's funny you say, because my mom brought the movie up today and she was like, do you think that somebody else might buy your script and make a better movie out of it one day? I think she was trying to be nice. I really do, because it's my mom. I mean, I don't know, Mom. I'm probably not. They make so many movies these days. Why would they take old content? You know, so I was trying to sound like, well, Mom, your son wrote a shitbag script and it was just a halfway decent movie. If that's what you're trying to say, Mom. Other than the Dizzy from Guns N' Roses music part. Sorry. But
that part.
But that part was good. Actually, you know, this is funny. So we went to a festival and I'm nominated for a dozen awards. It was like every category we're nominated in. So we get to the and
Awesome.
Dizzy comes with me. Dizzy comes. And so we're sitting there. And every time they nominate you, they ask you to stand up. And they go through the room. So Dizzy and I stand up every time and we don't win. So we stand up and then we sit down.
Aww.
And then we stand up and then we sit down. So after like the 6th, 7th time, I'm like, fuck this, dude. I'm gonna stand up. And I'm like, we keep losing, Dizzy. So they get to the music category and we fucking lose. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, I mean, I like basically, I brought in a fucking shill basically, because Dizzy did almost all, and then Snake from Skid Row did a bit of it.
I love Snake.
Super neat. Remember Snake? And then Peter from Bad Religion, Adrian from No Doubt. Well, I don't remember. Were all these guys at your house? I can't remember, because I know we did a lot of it at your house, but I don't remember who came through.
Well, you did it at my house?
Yeah, Dizzy and I did almost all of it in your house.
Oh, the music?
All the music, yeah. So what happened was, so for the way I remember, it's like some lady called me and pitched me Dizzy, and I was like, well, I mean, I know Dizzy. I worked with him. And then she's like, okay, well, it would be perfect. I'm like, yeah, it would be perfect. So then I called Dizzy, but Dizzy's like, I have no idea who you're talking about, and I have no idea who it was either. So I don't know who hitched me up with him again. But we wrote everything in your house. And then I know I just can't remember how many. I don't remember if other guys came to your house or not. It's been a long time now.
Probably. There were always people there. I just remember you had like a party after the movie came out at your house.
That's the tater tot night. So what happened was I had been out the entire night before I did this. I was doing this stupid documentary that was like totally made up crap. And it was producers in Hollywood. So they were putting all these cameras around and we would just party all night. So I literally was up the entire night the night before in San Diego. And I drank a bottle of vodka and I was with a couple girls and everything was great. And so I got to the venue where they're doing the release of the movie. It was at the Chinese Man Theater. Remember it? I think it was Dell came with the big thing of popcorn. They're all happy. And I'm a mess because I've been up for like 2 days. So they show the movie and then we all go to the Cat Club afterwards. And Dizzy's like, so Joel, come on up, dude. Come on up. You know, this is for you. And the place is packed. And I'm just a blithering mess. I've been up for 2 days and I'm like, Dizzy makes great tater tots. And they look like, and that was all I had to say. So the band just went into a song. They just started playing something like, I don't know. He's way too screwed up right now. Well, I remember there was a girl I was really keen on, right? And I couldn't even talk to her. I was just such a mess. That was a rough night.
Oh, yeah.
The great premiere.
It's fun though.
The great premiere of the Still Life. It was fun. It was super cool. It was really cool. It was a good time. And I mean, it was just so random. You had these mega performers playing on this little bitty film. And then that party was super awesome. We had a great time. Everybody was there. So, the little intro to this.
I just remember. Go ahead.
The intro to the podcast is Eric Dover. Do you know that?
Oh shit! No, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a little thing that Eric put together. Have you ever toured with Eric? Eric was in Alice Cooper's band, and he was Slash's Snake Pit. Have you ever toured with him, Kim?
I've done a couple Alice shows. It's been a while. Alice signed the van, actually. I've got a great picture of Alice signing the van.
It is cool. I love Alice Cooper. He's such a neat guy, such a nice fella. You can just tell it from just any kind of interview, anything. He's just so happy to be him. You know, such a neat dude.
Yeah, I love you. He's talking about his mom. She's like 90 years old. Lives with him and his wife down in Florida or Arizona, wherever he is now.
Have you seen him? He's got these I
think
he does a lot of stuff where he gives food to the homeless and he stands behind and he serves them up and everything. He's a neat guy. He's I want to get him on this because I got Michael Grace, who wrote Poltergeist, and Michael's going to come on. And I wanted to bring on Alice Cooper to interview him about the making of Poltergeist. So
that would be so cool.
Wouldn't it be cool? I got to figure that out. I got to spend a few minutes on that. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I have faith in you. I believe you'll make that happen.
Well, thank you, Kim. Yeah. We got it. Hold on. Let's see what other questions we got here because we're going into accolades.
More. Okay.
I don't know how many more here, but take me a second. One of my questions was when we were doing the music for the still life, were you thinking what the hell is going on in my house, but you don't remember it. So we got through that one pretty quick. You know what I do remember about your house is there was a bar, just down the street.
Across the street,
PJ's, and that was cool.
Yes.
Walk to the
donut store was right next door. You go to PJ's and then at 2 a.m. you go to the donuts. Yeah.
Go to what?
PJ's.
PJ's?
That donut shop was right next to the bar.
Yeah, I still go through your old hood sometimes, and it's still your hood. I still look around. I'm like, oh yeah. I can't drink like that anymore, like Jägermeister and stuff. I don't know if Dizzy still drinks it. I'm assuming he does, but I can't.
He does.
It's nasty now. I can't do that anymore.
Well, his wife is sober, so he can drink as much as he wants now.
Lucky
get driven around. I mean, I was always the DD before too, but once Sky turned 16, I was like, hell yeah, it's got my own personal DD.
Well, things are different now. I mean,
the bar.
Speaking of driving around, you have Uber, you have Lyft, and so it's great. It's great. Now if you get a DUI, you're kind of a dickhead. I mean, it's not that, unless you're driving really far, it's not that big of a deal. You get the guy to cruise you out. Not that they're going to be picking up your rock stars. I don't think you have to worry about that, Kim.
Well, you'd be surprised. There was a couple festivals trying to go low budget and see if that worked out for them. It's like, you just don't want that happening. Somebody picking up your artist and talking to them the whole way and getting lost conveniently, not being able to get in because they don't have proper credentials. There's a whole can of worms that can open up.
But to me, it would be interesting, like the Olympic, I've heard the Olympic people are just massive partiers. Just it's a crazy scene.
Yeah. They spent so much money here. House of Blues came in. It was, they spent like around $10 million just renovating an old Ebenezer Baptist church.
That's what Lisa just spent recently on her house remodel.
Nice. I bet it wasn't an old Baptist church.
What did they do at the Baptist? Did it into a venue?
Yeah, and so it's the Tabernacle now.
And so actually, I wrote about that in my book because the Tabernacle was one of my favorite buildings because you would remember. Have you ever been out there? Have you been to the Tabernacle, Lisa? The whole building used to move when the band played. Everything would just shake. I'd never been to a show where the building was like one of the people. It was part of it as everything would move up and down.
Well, they turned the bottom into another club as well. They turned it into a cotton club. And I can't remember the band that was playing in the main room, but the plaster started coming off downstairs. It's finally had
Cute.
enough, and they had to come in and redo. And then, the tornado hit it. We had a tornado come through Atlanta, probably, I don't know, maybe 2001, 2002, somewhere around in there. And it took out a lot of stained glass. And it did some damage, so they were down for a while.
That's a bummer.
But that's funny, Joel. We had to have worked together then, because I was at the Tabernacle almost every show in the beginning for a long time.
Oh, Stone Temple Pilots was when I went through there with Charlie.
Yep.
Yeah, so probably I used to be quiet in the van. I probably wouldn't have said much to you. I was tired. They worked my butt off, so I was usually pretty quiet. And then, but yeah, there's a really very strong possibility. Yeah, there's very likely. I should remember. I should say you're damn right.
It's okay. It's all a blur at times.
You write about Vegas. You write about when you went to Vegas with Guns in your book, and I was there that show.
Oh, really?
And I don't remember you being there. So
yeah, where my whole focus
that was crazy.
My whole focus was sneaking my friends into the show rather than the show.
Right. Yeah. But that was so crazy because it was like the last minute Guns N' Roses is going to play show. And what was the Goo Goo Dolls, right? That was started.
Yeah.
Like it was a Goo Goo Dolls show. And they cleared out the entire audience and brought in a Guns N' Roses audience. So they didn't go on stage till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
So they did it 3 times.
Get out of there.
They had the Goo Goo Dolls play, so I snuck my friends in. I'm like, cool, I'm done.
Yeah.
Then what happened was they did a full rave. They kicked everybody out, did a rave. Then I snuck my friends in. Then they kick everybody out again because Guns is about to start. And then I'm like, oh my God, and I got to try and stick my friends in. So I'd say this will never get me working in the music industry again, but let's face it, it's pretty unlikely. So I'm sneaking these guys in again and again and again throughout the damn night. But yeah, I mean, the truth is like when I worked for Guns, I wasn't that tight with Dizzy. I didn't know him that good. He was real quiet.
Yeah.
He's very focused. He's not like he's not a big party. Or when we were out in Rio and everything, he was one of the quiet ones. He was very focused on his instrument. He took it really seriously. He wasn't a shit show ever. He was always.
That was just at home.
I plead the fifth. So, but no, he takes his job seriously, and he's quiet. He doesn't stir up any.
Like in the early days, it was not like that. Like we were on tour. I think Sky had just been born, and he was always just. We'd go out, like you'd go to clubs after a show or whatever, just to keep partying or whatever, and like he would just be blackout drunk by the end of the night, and I was always the sober one because I just had a child, so I kind of had to be. And he like had no clue. Like there was one time he was so out of it, and he's very well maintained when he is like, he's not a shit show, he's just him. But we're like leaving this bar, and this girl like comes out of nowhere and like pins him to a wall and like wraps her legs around his waist and her arms around his neck. And I'm like, I like step back. I'm like, hi. And he has like no idea what's going on because he's so drunk.
That was like, my mom.
Hi. So I grabbed the girl by her hair. I'm like, nope. And I like pulled like that. And she went flying. And do you know Truck? Did you ever meet Truck?
No.
The security guy?
No, but it sounds like he was a little guy.
Yeah.
Was he really?
Most awesome dude ever. No, he was short, but he was.
Yeah.
He was awesome. He's like, nope, Lisa. He like picks me up and like shoves me out the door, and Dizzy's just completely like, what's going on? I'm cool. And he like shoves Dizzy out the door, and I turn around. He's like, you're gonna get sued. Don't do that. And I'm like, okay. And I turn around and he has the girl like pinned up against the wall with her arm like up behind her back. I'm like, okay, it's good. We're solved. Does he have no clue? Like what just happened?
We had a lot of fun in the Cat Club days, but you were there a lot of the time.
I was there a lot of the time, yeah.
Yeah, Kenny used to take care of us like family.
Yeah. I love Kenny.
Man, he's a good guy.
Jim.
This guy was the bartender at this place called the Cat Club. So the Cat Club was owned by the drummer from the Stray Cats and Slim Jim.
Do you know him, Kim?
Really?
Do you know the Stray Cats, Kim?
I've done some Broad Setzer shows.
Great. I love that, sir. I love the Stray Cat. These are like phenomenal musician guys. And Slim Jim's a very cool cat. He's a cool cat. Get it? There you go.
Nice.
So we would go to this place that he owned. And I mean, you never knew who would show up. It would be, so Lemmy was always singing there. The Beatles, most of the time, the Beatles. And you had these fantastic musicians. This guy, Eric Dover, I mentioned earlier, is just brilliant musician. You know, I'm hoping to get Eric on here, but Dizzy told me that the best musician he's ever heard in his life, the most talented musician ever, is Eric, which I'd love to tell him one day. But that's what he said. He said the most talented musician he's ever worked with is Eric Dover. So I thought that was cool. If Eric knew that, I think he'd be so happy if he knew it was just like a sincere conversation while we were on an airplane drinking 5 cocktails, but nonetheless. There was sincerity, Eric. There was sincerity, my friend. But yeah, you never knew who would come. And so CeCe DeVille would show up. I don't know. Everybody would show up and play. And it was really fun because it was just a revolving stage of musicians playing random stuff. And it was great. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, they'd kick everybody out, but the core group, and we would just party all night. I mean, it was awesome. It was, and then that's what I was saying. I was on Sunset the other day and I didn't even know what building it was. And I spent like like a decade of my life in this place. So it's nuts how things change. Hence my Peach Street, Peach Avenue, Peach Circle. They need to work on the street names in Atlanta, Cam.
Yeah, we lacked a lot of innovation when it came down to naming them. But yeah, you're right. You know, it's the same thing here. The clubs, you know, the actual live music scene has just really shrunk. You know, it's like you said, there's no more of the revolving clubs. You know, we've got one still good old blues dive bar. There was actually one night there was an Allman Brothers cover band. And I'd done a show with J-Mo, the original drummer, and I took him we went into Northside. And those guys were like, that's J-Mo. Oh my God, that's J-Mo. And you know, you're in a cover band and the guy you're covering walks in. It was a pretty awesome moment. But those moments are rare and far between anymore, you know?
It has changed. It's changed dramatically. Yeah, we did.
They say we may be old, but we saw all the good bands.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, you know, I saw with John Mayen, actually, that was one of the questions at the end. Who do you think's the next end all be all? You know, who's going to be cool? They said Bruno Mars. I'm like, well, he's already huge. And he's like, no, that guy has a lot of space. And then I forgot the other one. She's super popular. She's a young girl with like blue hair. What's that?
Oh, Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish. He feels Billie Eilish could really become an interesting songwriter. You know,
I don't like her.
No, I don't know this.
I like Halsey. Halsey is so talented. So she's incredible. Like voice of an angel, writes killer songs, like puts on an amazing show. And I can't stand most new music. And Shade turned me on to her. Leonard, Shade turned me on to her, and she's amazing. Like I could listen to her for days. She's so good. Yeah.
Well, the music.
And that other guy, Louis Capaldi, he's pretty.
Oh yeah, he's kind of like a Edward Sheehan.
Yeah,
he's kind of like that.
He's so good.
Yeah. Well, he's a redhead. He's got to be talented. Come on.
I'm a big Tedeschi Trucks fan. Susan Tedeschi, she's amazing. And Derek Trucks, he's that next generation of Allman Truck clan.
So you like Leonard Skinner? You keep talking about Allman Brothers, but is Leonard Skinner in the same?
Turn it up, baby. Turn it up.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something bad. I saw you look to the left. I'm like, oh, she said we have to end this right now.
No, I was at the very last Leonard Skinner show in Greenville, South Carolina. And I'll never forget my dad waking us up the next day saying, "Didn't you guys go see some band called Leonard Skinner?" And we're like, "Yeah, very hungover." And he's like, "Well, they crashed last night." And it was just like this devastation. I can't go to school now. The band just crashed. But and yeah,
you were at the show. You were at the last show they did.
I was there. I was just a kid. We were in the front row passing Jack Daniels with Ronnie. No, I was just a kid at the show.
That's huge to me. I'm so Dizzy. If I think I'm right here, he started playing keys because one of the main influences was Leonard Skinner, and the reason
Billy Powell.
Yeah.
I think, and the reason was because they put the guy on the stage. They didn't hide him.
No.
Dizzy for years.
And what the heck's that guy's name? Journey, the keyboard player for Journey. What was his freaking name? Like the singer before Steve Perry. Why am I blanking on this fool's name?
I don't know. I was never a big fan.
I know. I'm like,
I can cheat.
I'm drawing a blank as well.
You know, Dizzy was really into early. He loved early Boston. He thinks early Boston was great stuff.
I love Boston.
Yeah, he liked that. But what he said, like the biggie was that they didn't hide their keyboard player. They didn't hide their key player or whatever. It's probably piano player then. That they'd bring him out on the stage, and Dizzy would watch him. How do you do all this? He'd try and watch his hands. And what he found out later was the guy did use like two hands or something. I can't remember. I don't know how to play piano, but it wasn't what he had thought from when he grew up. He was like trying to do what he could do, but he didn't know that the guy was actually using both hands instead of one or so. I'd have to ask Dizzy, but it was interesting, you know, where your influences come to. And it was just the fact that they put the guy on the stage. They didn't hide him. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah. This guy, Greg Rowley, that was his name. That was his other huge influence, Greg Rowley.
I never heard that one. That's kind of neat.
And
my favorite one was
another guy. He played Joe Walsh. Who's the other guy? Played with Joe Walsh.
Joe Walsh must have signed the band. He travels all the time, right, Kim?
He does, but you know what? I never drove Joe Walsh.
Oh.
No, never signed the band.
I love Joe.
No Eagles.
We'll get him a sign.
Timothy B. Smith, but not in the actual band, not in the Astro.
I love him.
You know who I love was in the van, and I didn't realize it was him, was Michael McDonald.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
And I love Michael McDonald so much. He's one of the probably very few artists that's ever just called me in the dressing room, him and his wife, and said, "Hey, how are you doing? What's been going on?" He is such an incredible talent.
He did all this backup singing on all these albums. You know, Christopher Cross. He's the guy in the background singing all this stuff that you don't know about.
Really? I picked him and his backup singer Cindy up, and literally, I thought he was the keyboard player. And he got out before he had time to sign it.
Keyboard players are cool.
Yeah, his keyboard name was Michael also, and there was just this moment of confusion on my part, and I was always so sad. That'd be the running joke. He'd be like, "Do you have the band now?" I'd be like, "No." But he's such a great soul. But that was one of those moments that I just totally missed. Was Michael McDonald.
You didn't even realize.
No, I didn't until he got out. I was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe I just did that. He was right there, right by the visor. Prime real estate in the van. Yeah. We still laugh about it though, but he's just such a stellar guy.
I got a question because I'm kind of a dork, but I love Meatloaf. Was Meatloaf ever in your van?
He was not.
I love him. I
do.
Make fun of me, Joel.
So Meatloaf got me into. I read an article in Rolling Stone forever ago, and it was talking about Meatloaf's. Actually, speaking of Meatloaf, Jim Steinman passed away like a week ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know that one. I was like, oh, that hits home. I love that guy, but because Jim Steinman wrote everything for Meatloaf. If anybody knows, I don't know, but you know, Total Eclipse of the Heart, Air Supply stuff. I mean, the guy, Sisters of Mercy. He wrote the cool Sisters of Mercy song, dude. right? Fucking Jim
Sisters
Steinman.
of Mercy.
So Meatloaf, and what it was is who were your big influences? And one of them was this Irish blues singer. I can't think of the name. I'm ruining my own story, but he's so good. And that was from Meatloaf. And the guy, like, at a young age, something happened to him where he couldn't sing anymore. And he's brilliant. I might have to cheat and look it up. This is what podcasting has come to after you usually look it up on your phone.
Yeah.
Miller.
Do it
That's it. His last name is the same as mine. There you go. Miller is the name. Jesus.
How did you forget that?
I know that's bad. That's terrible. That's pretty bad. It's something Miller. Frankie Miller. It's Frankie Miller. And that's like one of Meatloaf's main influences. If you love Meatloaf, listen to Frankie Miller and you'll be blown away. I mean, and the guy's, it's a blues singer from Ireland, amazing.
Well, I love the Irish, so.
He got his deal because he went into the A&R guy's office and they played like the whole album or something of Bat Out of Hell. Him and he brought in the female singer lady. They brought in a bunch and they did the whole thing in the office.
Wow.
Shut up.
Wow, right? And the guy was kind of like, okay, sure.
It's so erratic. And like you're going to the theater when you listen to Meatloaf. I don't know. I freaking love him.
You ever get
just seeing him in Rocky
Horror? Yeah, it's the random stuff that makes it more fun too. These other things. It makes it whole, like full circle. It makes it really neat.
The Spice Girls movie. He's in the Spice Girls movie.
We all make mistakes.
Did you know that? Hey, don't diss the Spice Girls, okay? Girl power.
It's someone. I was Bobby Lee, who was the tour manager of the Chili Peppers when I was out with them. And what's the most random thing you've had to go get? And he's like, "Oh, I had to get a cheeseburger at 3:00 in the morning for Flea." And I'm like, "Don't you talk shit about Flea, Bobby Lee." He's like, "I'm not." I'm like, "Good. Flea's a stand-up guy, you piece of shit." So it was kind of.
All right, Joel and Kim, have you seen the movie Suburbia?
I have not.
Tell me you've seen it. Okay, it is probably one of the worst movies ever made, but it's one of the best movies ever made. And Flea plays this young punk rock kid living in a dilapidated house with a bunch of other punk rockers. And it's so bad, but it's so good.
I want to make a movie and I have Flea as like the boring accountant. Just as the what? Why would Flea be your accountant? And you make kind of like some music joke. Actually, you want to hear one? This is a good Disney story. So my accountant, he's going through my accounting and he's like, "What the fuck is the pink elephant?" I'm like, "I don't know. Why? What's the pink elephant?" He goes, "Well, you're writing it off. And so you need to know." I'm like, pink elephant. Pink elephant is a liquor store in Glendale. I had to go buy a bottle of Jägermeister, or Dizzy said, "I'm not fucking playing." And he's like, "No, He goes, "Buying a bottle of liquor for your friend is not a tax write-off." I'm like, "Well, it is if we're doing a soundtrack for a movie." And he says, "I'm not going to play unless I get some Jägermeister." So, so he made me take it out of my accounting because he said that if I ever get audited, I'm going to look like a dumb asshole, was his exact words.
Yeah.
And
I'm pretty sure Dizzy writes off all the Jägermeister that he's bought over the past couple decades. So,
as he should, in my opinion. Not that I'm an accountant or know anything about this, but I feel comfortable in saying he absolutely should.
He absolutely should.
Well, ladies, I think we are. You are late now, Kim. You're very late at night, though. You're probably used to this because you drive around all the time. But
yeah, it's about time. I'm thinking either about getting bus drivers or after show food.
I can't eat pizza anymore, and everybody's like, "Why? How could you not like pizza?" I'm like, "Oh God, no pizza."
It makes the tour world go round.
More pizza.
I do not like pizza either.
It's tough every now and then, but oh God, no, anything but pizza. And what do you got, please? So
it's going to be really interesting to see now after the pandemic, like how people's taste buds have developed, because I'm like on this one group, the COVID quarantine group. And it's like all these different tour people who've been cooking and they've like just been coming up with, all these different recipes. And it's just like, yeah, I don't think pizza is going to be such a go-to anymore, or chicken wings. And it's going to be interesting.
that'd be good. We did a dinner club, and every month they picked like different places. So one of the best ones we had was pick your favorite president and make either their favorite meal or their favorite drink. And the early presidents, it's some kooky shit. There's some weird recipes in the golden days of Americana. So the winner though was JFK, because JFK it was Boston clam chowder with salted pork. And it was so good. So when it came to my turn, I don't cook. And I picked bring your favorite fast food. And the photograph of the table was incredible. we had every crap available in LA at this place. And it was really neat. I was very proud of that.
That's a really cool idea.
It was fun, actually. Yeah, it was fun. It gives a good excuse to meet up. I don't think we had fat burger. My one was jalapeno, cheese poppers from Jack in the Box. I love them.
Those are good.
The Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Jack in the Box, the jalapeno cheese poppers.
How do you get fat burger in LA, Joel?
The what?
How do you not have fat burger in Joel? You have to have fat burger in LA, Joel.
We had In-N-Out Burger. We had Tommy's Burger. So Del Taco makes a kick-ass cheeseburger. We had Del Taco cheeseburgers. So we had 3 types of cheeseburgers.
They're fried.
The fries are good. Del Taco needs to rebrand their name. They need to change it. They need to be like cheeseburgers, fries, and Mexican stuff. When you can't make it stuff. If you can't get there in time, we got you. We got you.
I might have to have a Del Taco cheeseburger in your honor tomorrow.
I'll be pleased.
Okay, good. They have.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Do it. I want to see a picture. Put a picture on the podcast Twitter.
I will do.
The Del Taco cheeseburger.
Yeah, there we go. It'll be a good sponsor. We'll push this thing. All right. Well, I think we finished this without getting into trouble with any Guns N' Roses people.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable that we did okay here. I don't think Kim's going to get fired either.
I'm feeling good about it.
I'm feeling pretty good. I think we all done good.
Yeah. So good. We should do it again sometime.
You're good at this job, Joel.
Yeah.
You really are.
I want to come down and hang out with you, Kim.
Come on,
we all got a powwow.
Come hang out with you, Kim.
Let's do it. Be a runner.
There. Oh my God, that'd be so fun. Can I just sit in your passenger seat and talk shit? That'd be so fun.
I've had people do it.
It would be fun if it's like a band that you kind of know and they don't know it's you. And then you turn around, yeah, it's me, asshole. No, we're not taking you to Del Taco. No, we're not going to get you vibrators. And Meatloaf's the best goddamn musician who ever lived. Dick.
So
we're just going to blast Meatloaf's entire ride.
Thing with Meatloaf, do you think he could come out with another album with no Jim Steinman? I don't know if he could. I don't know. You kind of.
He's sick though. He had like a stroke or a heart attack or something. Meatloaf.
No kidding.
So
yeah, he was in pretty bad shape there for a while.
I was very worried. It was that year. It was that bad year where everyone was dying, like Tom Petty and Chris and Chester. And then I was like, not Meatloaf.
Keep Meatloaf. Yeah, it's weird when they're younger and you don't expect it. You know, with old people, you're kind of like, well, what do you want? The guy was old. But when they're younger, you're kind of like, oh, shit, what the hell? You know? Especially when there's...
You know who... Go ahead.
No, sorry, what you said, Kim. I'm sure it was...
I was going to say, you know who raised the bar on going out was Colonel Bruce. 70th birthday party, again, at the Fox Theater. Literally goes down to do his favorite song, guitar solo, goes down, doesn't come back up. Warren, everybody's looking around and they realize he's having a heart attack right there. Boom. Sold out house, celebrating his 70th birthday with every friend, every young grasshopper he had ever raised, all right there. And he went out in a blaze of glory. Totally raised the bar for any rock star. That's how you want to go.
Yeah, you know who else passed away on stage was Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim died on stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he knew it though. Or he knew it was coming. Like, apparently, I mean, the doctor told him you have to take it easy. And I think I might be wrong, but I think he was playing in an old folks' home or something, and he keeled over and he died. I think it's true. I think. Well, he was he really knew his early music inside and out, like everything. So like 1890s and 1920s or something. Let's say he knew everything. So he was an encyclopedia of old music, and so he would perform and do this stuff. But yeah, he passed away on stage. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. I mean,
that's the way to go. You know, you go out. I mean, especially like Bruce, sold out group of his peers and just playing "Let Your Love Light Shine."
Yeah.
Done. Boom.
What's the encore on that night? You know.
Yeah, that's you don't top that.
Yeah, I don't know. That might have been rude. All right.
No encore that night.
Call it quits. On.
That was.
Well, it's been really cool talking to you. I got my buddy calling me and asking me now about what the hell I'm questioning his stupid friend for. He's going to redo my house. Actually, shouldn't call him stupid. He's going to do all the electrical in my house. But if this guy doesn't do it now because of this stuff, you got to come do it, Lisa. You got to redo all the electrical in my house because this kid's not going to do it no more.
I'll stand there and point and tell people what to do. I'm good at that.
I don't know. I don't think you're counted as a roadie. He might be able to come over and help. Because there's a rule now: no more roadies working on the house. So I don't think
have an actual license.
God forbid.
I want to meet your girlfriend.
Oh, you'll like her.
Meet your girlfriend and hang out. So
she's good for a girl.
I'm sure I will. Hey,
he'll like her.
She puts up with your shit. That'd be cool.
Carrie even likes her.
There.
I even get Funyuns sometimes, but not a lot. Not a lot.
Did Carrie get moved? Did you guys get her to Knoxville?
Well, some of her stuff's in my garage right now, and she is going to be moving to Knoxville next week, I believe.
Did she get her house?
She did get her house, so she's super excited, and
yes.
Good for her.
Yay! I'm so happy for her. Yep,
I'm
happy. Huge.
A little nervous. I hope it works out for her. She's my buddy, but
I think she's going to do really well. I think it was time and everything she's looking at. I think it's going to be really awesome.
Well, the word on the street is the guy across the street looks good and he mows his lawn without a shirt on. So that's the word. That's the word on the street from some friend. Actually, my I had another girl on here who's good friends with Carrie, and it was can't think of her name, but she was the one who, I think it was her, who's like the guy across, and then he has like 5 kids. So Carrie's like, he's doing something right. Welcome to Knoxville, Carrie. Okay.
Oh, maybe she'll find it in the water.
I have no idea. I don't know. No, I think, you just want your friends to be happy. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. I'm excited for it because, Knoxville's not that far from here. So
good. You have to go bug her. She's got a cute little dog. You'll like the dog. It's a very nice little doggy. So.
Yep. She showed me pictures. She's very excited.
She's down there.
Yeah. So, I mean, the truth is like, there's nothing here. She didn't have any family here or whatever. What are you missing out on? So go try it. If it doesn't work, I told her, rent the house, find a tenant, rent it. I'll help her find somebody to figure that part out. And then, tried something different. Life's about different steps, different ways, and seeing what happens. So I'm not opposed to it. I think it's a good idea. And it's a really cute house. So
I think she's going to do great. I'm very excited for her. I love her.
Good. Well, that positive energy helps. So I think it's good. We'll see. Do you want the crap in my garage?
My husband would be like, I've got enough crap of my own.
I've got Dave Matthews RIAA records.
Oh, that's all good.
I've got, I don't know,
What would you say?
there's other music garbage and a lot of Halloween stuff. Boxes and boxes of Halloween stuff.
I'll trade you widespread panic stuff for Dave. I've got all kinds of widespread swag. I've got so much stuff. I've got a picture of Jackson Browne from his Lawyers in Love that they used to have in the record store back in the days when there were record stores, and it's as big as any doorway going into your house. The thing is huge.
It's the husband. Sean Payton. Sean's got some cool shit he won't sell me because he's a dickhead.
He wants to sell you? Or he won't?
He won't sell it to me. He told me he'd sell it to me, and then he changed his mind. It's horrible, these people. You can't trust any people. Can't trust anyone these days.
I'm going to get him on your podcast.
It would be really fun. Yeah, there was another fella. I'm not going to say the guy, but it was a guy he knew. I'm like, you got to come in, and we're going to give him a hard time. And he's like, fuck that guy. I hate that guy. I'm like, okay.
He was telling me about that when I was trying to talk to him. He's like, he was telling me about, he's like, yeah, Joel wanted me to talk to so-and-so. And I was like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, don't say the name. Don't say the name because it's big. Yeah, I was like, all right, whatever. I didn't know you guys hated each other, but okay, whatever. So there's been a couple.
Come on with me.
There's this other lady I got.
Come on with me.
She's a big singer. And I was like, oh, this person would be perfect. She's a big singer from another 80s band that's huge. And so my friend Howie Huberman, you know Howie. And so Howie's like, they fucking hate each other's guts for like 30 years, passionate, massive hatred. I'm like, oh, all right, well, you save me some time. All right, we won't call her then. I don't know who we're going to pick. So we kind of sort of stuff. But it's interesting because, part of the gimmick is you get a couple people, we all chat, you make new friends, or you reconnect people, or just something a little bit different, a little bit fun. But it's like, oh, they really hate each other. So then I'm thinking in my head, like, what if I bring two people on who hate each other? That might be kind of fun. I don't know. I'm just saying.
That would be fun.
Yeah, maybe with Sean, I'll bring that guy on and be like, surprise, Sean. Yeah. It would be a very roadie thing to do, wouldn't it?
Oh, God, it would.
It would be good. You know what'd be fun is to have Mark Hogue and Charlie both on and be like, so, which one of you thought I was the better employee?
Didn't they both do Aerosmith? I know Mark did. Didn't Charlie do Aerosmith? They both did Aerosmith.
Charlie did Aerosmith too, yeah. Yeah, well, they've both been around. I mean, you're talking about like the biggest boys of the bunch for production.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about, and that's what I did one with a couple guys from STP who worked with me with STP, and we had a really good time. We're actually going to release it here on Monday, and we had a great time catching up. Like, you got to bring Charlie on, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if he'll do it, but I'll try. But there's got to be great Charlie stories. There's so many times of just like, why do I hire you? I mean, there has to be one. There's a story in the book, Kim, where we were playing in a venue in Toronto, and the height of the place was shorter than ever. The trim height was less. So I cut the bottom of the backdrop because it was low. And I used the extra stuff to put on the stage to make other things look better. Well, I didn't realize that we were playing in a small venue. So when you bring it up to trim, that's how the backdrop's supposed to be. So I cut their whole backdrop up. I mean,
separates the professionals from the amateurs.
This is what happens when you hire a mechanic son who is not really a carpenter. Yeah, there were some winners. There were some
better podcast.
Yeah, I'm a better podcaster. That doesn't say much. All right. Well, I really do appreciate catching up with both of you. Thanks for coming on. And we'll have to all powwow, man.
Yeah, I love it. Yes. Lisa, let's exchange info here at some point.
I believe that both your emails are in the same link. So I think you guys already have each other's email. If not, I will send an email to you both right now.
I was going to say, I think you're right now that you say that.
Actually, it might be wrong because I think I got your email wrong initially, Lisa. So I'm going to send you one right now. And then you'll be able to stay in touch. Okay. And we'll have new stories to talk about.
That's right. I'll send you a name if you let me know. I definitely want you to meet Jay Lane, drummer from Rat Dog.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, I like Rat Dog. That would be really cool. I have some Grateful Dead posters here somewhere. I just got a couple days ago. So that would be neat.
He's good people, that guy.
Yeah, let me know when the pool's done, Joel.
When the what's done? The pool? June.
Pool's done. Okay.
4-month wait to get your pool done. So
That kind of sucks.
yeah, but I'm putting in a little, because I don't know how to swim, so I'm putting in a little bench so I can sit my butt on the bench and drink a beer and just watch people swim.
How do you not know how to swim? You grew up in California.
I can doggy paddle, but the deal is, so my friends used to like have a bet, how many beers can you drink by the time it takes Joel to get to the end of the pool and back? And I would try really hard, but it takes a long time. Doggy paddling will kick your butt. It is tiring.
Do you have floaties too?
So they don't make floaties for adults. My friends tried to buy them for me because they thought it'd be very funny for a birthday thing, and they couldn't find them anywhere.
You
I
should have
believe
gaff taped them
if
together.
anybody could find them, it would be you.
I'm gonna find them.
You're gonna find my floaties. I'll wear them. I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
Really, Lisa, I'll start looking here too. Between the two of us, East Coast, West Coast, we got it.
Yeah.
We got it.
I feel comfortable. I think that if anybody could do it, it would be you too.
Safety first.
Be like a true roadie and gaff tape them together. Get a couple kid size and just gaff them together.
I still have a gaff tape collection. I can't let it go. It's what I brought home with me after all those years of all the fun. Why keep cool stuff when you can collect gaff tape?
Exactly.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
All right. Well, till next
All
time.
right.
Thank you for your time.
Till next time.
And I'll talk
Thank
to
you
you
guys
guys
so
both.
much. It's been fun.
Yeah, 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 yeah.